Testing. Testing mic 2. With 4 days to go until Christmas, we've put our Tyrrells Premier 15s live streaming elves to work. We've come to the northwest, up to Liverpool and a little bit further. We are on Merseyside at Firwood Waterloo as the league's bottom place club look to add a second win to their season so far. Their opponents today coming in the form of Darlington Mowden Park Sharks, who sit 6th in the table after last week's win against Bristol. Firwood's Director of Rugby Neil Ryan has already called it the Battle of the North this week. It's round 10 of the Tyrrells Premier 15s, England's top women's rugby competition, and you're very welcome indeed. Well, hello, great to have you with us. We hope you've got the wrapping paper, the scissors, the sellotape and the gift tags around you, maybe a cup of something festive as well, because we're really looking forward to bringing you this afternoon's match here. It's actually my first time to this historic club, founded in 1882, and not only have they been amazing hosts already, offering me a pre-match lunch and some mulled wine. It'll be up to you to work out when that kicks in. We also have the First Lady of English Rugby with us. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome a lady who captained England and, of course, got that Rugby World Cup win in 1994, over 70 caps. It's Jill Burns. Jill, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for that lovely welcome to me as well. And welcome to Blundell Sands, our lovely memorial ground, and it's a very, very special place, you're quite right.
Yeah, you're a former president of this place. You've got your Lancashire presidency now. A lot of people have a fond relationship with their rugby club, but people around here have a very special bond with this place.
Yeah, it is a special place. Just look around. We have a fantastic playing surface. We have a historic old clubhouse, and when that big old fire's stoked up in there, as the players run through the bar with the fire on and the fans all cheering, it's an amazing place. I still get butterflies in my stomach every time I come through the gates, because it makes me want to play. And if only I could, I'd have my boots on this afternoon, joining the girls out there. But it's a wonderful place.
Yeah, I bet. Now then, in terms of the game itself, the last match here was, of course, the first win for Firwood Waterloo against Richmond. What do you expect to see from them today to try and get a second W?
Well, I'm just hoping that they will grow with confidence of that win. We have the potential. We have some great players. A couple coming back from injury, and those partnerships are starting to gel. So I'm hoping they can build on that last performance and play a very, very good and improving Darlington Mowden Park side, who have had some fantastic wins this season. So it'll be an interesting game, a battle of the North, and there's something passionate about playing a regional sort of final of description.
A bit of a derby.
Yeah, a bit of a local derby. So it's a special day, and I'm hoping it's going to be a great game. game.
Yeah, so well, we all are, I'm sure, you at home as well. So we could just have a quick look at the fixtures as well, of course, for round 10. We already have some games underway. Harlequins looking pretty good in their battle against 8th place Worcester. Carys Phillips back for the Warriors, but Quinn's certainly looking pretty rampant there. The 1 o'clock kickoff, Wasps against Gloucester Hartpury, 5th against 4th, likes of Claire Malloy and Harriet Miller Mills against the likes of Zoe Allcroft and, well, friend of the show, Natasha Hunt. Also a 2 o'clock kickoff, as well as us here, is Loughborough against Bristol, 3rd against 7th, Amber Reid back for Bristol, and then the 3 o'clock game is Richmond against Saracens. Can Richmond hold out the champions? You imagine it might be a long afternoon for them there, but of course it's Richmond who Firwood Waterloo have in their sights in that Tyrrells Premier 15s table. So as we approach kickoff with just a couple of minutes to go, let's hear how the coaches are feeling ahead of this one. Well, Neil, Battle of the North, here we are. How much are you looking forward to this one?
Yeah, very much so. We had a good home victory last time against Richmond, so it's always nice to be at home. We played well up at DMP, scored 4 tries, so all the girls are looking forward to it before we have the Christmas break.
People are used to seeing Firwood Waterloo at the bottom of the table in recent times. What can you tell us about this side and their ambitions to get a result today and to move up that table?
Yeah, the girls are working in the right direction. There's a lot of work-ons we need to do, but hopefully it can start today. We've had some all right performances. We just need to take that next step. We played well down at Worcester, but just failed to score that 4 try. And as we know in rugby, there's a lot of fine margins. But the girls are in good spirits and looking forward to today.
And what can we look forward to Firwood Waterloo doing today? Where should we be drawing our eye?
Well, one of the things we try to work on is always be a threat with and without the ball. So I'd like to think the girls will go out and express themselves wherever they are on the field. The aim is to try and win the game, obviously, but we want to try and play with a bit of flair and hopefully score some tries.
All right, wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, Tamara, a chance for DMP Sharks to be looking up the table. How do you feel going into this one?
Yeah, really, really excited. If we get the win today, which is obviously what we're aiming for, this will be the most successful Sharks team we've had since we joined the Tyrrells Premiership. So we're super excited. We did some good things last week. We obviously made some mistakes as well. But I think coming into a game like this, it's a beautiful day to play some rugby. So we're just excited to hopefully stay at 6th.
Yeah, it's a historic club, this one. You got the victory on them earlier this season. You'll be hoping to do the double.
Definitely. Do you know, stats-wise, we've not actually won here, so that's what makes this even more of an exciting game. Usually we play here and it's blowing a gale. It's absolutely muddy as heck, but the pitch looks like it's in decent shape, so it'll be a great game, and it definitely will be the Battle of the North. Yeah,
what can we expect then from the Sharks?
We're going to try and move the ball, definitely. We've got an awesome back line. We've had a few positional changes, which we tried out last week towards the end of that Bristol game, and it really showed. So that's what we're aiming for, get the ball moved, and again, there's a really physical pack in that Waterloo, so we're going to be trying to take it to them up front at the same time.
Go well today.
Thank you.
Well, good to hear from Tamara Taylor, of course, hugely experienced campaigner, former Rugby World Cup winner herself with the Red Roses. And, well, the scene is set, so let's have a little look at the two teams then. Starting with Firwood Waterloo. Well, Neil Ryan has had a bit of a reshuffle in the pack, seeing pick-and-go machine Vanessa Temple in her favoured position in the back row and Barbarian Beth Stafford back in the second row. Ryan will be looking to shore up the set piece in order to give the explosive backline a platform from which to perform. He's made 2 changes to the backline that looked so threatening with ball in hand last time out. As he mentioned, Els Isaac returns at 10, so Bethan Davis drops to the bench and 17-year-old Alyssa Jennings makes a return to the wing. And for DMP, well, Justin Loveridge has made a few changes from last time out. Up front, well, there's been a late change. Heather Kerr is a loss, having been withdrawn due to a hand injury, while Trudy Cowan joins player coach Tamara Taylor in the second row. Rachel McLaughlin, the Scottish flanker, is rewarded with a start, while Amy Oro is being given a run at number 8. The back line relatively unchanged, apart from Beth Blacklock, who was moved to fullback last week and now gets a start there. We heard that from Tamara Taylor. It'll be interesting to see how she goes with that start. The late change, incidentally, up front, seeing Emily Hunter coming in from the bench, and Meg Gardner will wear the number 16 shirt. So looking then at both replacements. Well, a word on Maisie James at number 17 for DMP, 17 years of age, named in the latest talent development group, a talent to keep an eye on. So Darlington Mowden Park Sharks get us underway. as we heard, they have not managed to get a victory here. And they will be certainly hoping to try and switch that up. First job for Firwood Waterloo is to make the clearance, but DMP in a good position to try and field that. Our referee this afternoon is Daniel Woods, assisted by Adam Morrison and Tim Brown. Looking to carry up the middle here, Firwood. There might have been the slightest nudge there. Ball not obviously forward. Referee happy enough for play to go on here. And they want to put a little bit more width on it through Lisa Thompson, one of the co-captains for DMP today. Ball away from Georgina Roberts. Looking back down this short side. And it is going to be the option for Thompson to just try and dig it into the corner, but hasn't quite managed to find touch. So clearance sees Roberts flying after it again. Tamara Taylor is just hobbling just out of your picture. She's really struggling to put some weight on that right leg at the moment, and that will be worrying moments for the DMP player coach.
Tackle release.
Just into the 22 now. Roberts again. Ball continually alive in these opening 90 seconds. Up here on Merseyside, round 10 of the Tyrrells Premier 15s. As DMP go searching for the opening score. Decent bit of continuity. You can just see Tamara Taylor in the foreground getting a bit of attention there from our camera position. Now they look to come a little wider. Thompson again regularly coming onto the ball, but looking to send Lindsay Taylor through the gap. But that ball went forward, and it's a chance to say good afternoon once again to Jill Burns. And well, Jill, a decent opening bit of consistency and fluidity from DMP.
Yeah, good afternoon, Nick. Yeah, I think DMP will be happy with that. Certainly recycle the ball well. Firwood showed some decent defence there, holding them out. Clearance kick not perhaps ideal, but now at least Firwood Waterloo have chance to get their hands on the ball and show us what they can do today. But yeah, some big ball carriers for DMP. You're going to have to make sure that the Waterloo defence is good.
A worrying moment for Tamara Taylor.
Yeah, well, world-class player, really leads her team from the front, leads by example, and it will be a big blow for DMP if Tamara does have to go off. But knowing her, she'll tape it up, take a deep breath and battle on.
Absolutely, 115 caps for England. Enjoyed some game time with the Barbarians as well.
Yeah, it's lovely to see the Barbarians have welcomed women into the game, and about time too. And fantastic to see so many of our girls enjoying it. Even Firwood Waterloo have one of our uncapped players, Beth Stafford, who enjoyed running out for the Barbarians against Wales, and what an opportunity. Wonderful news for the women's game.
Sun is casting some long wintry shadows. Of course, it's the winter solstice, isn't it? It's the shortest day. So perhaps a suggestion of why the kickoffs moved to 2 o'clock, to make sure we can get it in before the light goes. Let's just see if we can spot what might have happened to Tamara Taylor. Or might have just been...
Yeah, she's still a youngster in my eyes, but certainly once you pass 30, I think the little niggles start to notice them a bit more.
There is that. Incidentally, I'm being slightly distracted from our commentary position by, look at that, a Cocker Spaniel puppy, or a Springer, I should say. If the commentary suddenly goes dead, you know where I've gone, basically, just to let you know.
Yes, and we're lucky here at Blundell Sands. We're not far from the beach, and when it's a beautiful day, it really is beautiful, and it couldn't be a prettier place. But there she goes, battling on back into the pack for the next scrimmage.
She is, my goodness me. Well, you called it.
Keep this space.
You forwards don't know when you're beaten, that's the problem. So, chance here for Firwood Waterloo to
Bind.
have their first real bit of possession.
Set.
Ball is in
Stay
from
down.
Mary Grieve. Gets it away. They're going to try and put a little bit more width on it, and the kick comes through from Laura Perrin. Pass was well held in the end there on the outside. Tamara Taylor is still not looking too comfortable as she takes her place in this line. Still not really able to fully wait there. And you wonder whether it's a matter of time before the England second row has to leave us. Opts to tip it on rather than take the contact there, which was
Not survived. Push.
well, possibly the right option on all fronts. That's a bit of a loose pass though. DMP look a little bit challenged by going down that narrower channel. Taylor once more kept at 12 after the Bristol match.
Use it.
Roberts wants to get it away. Taylor's doing quite a nice job at first receiver. Waterloo in with the tackles, got to make sure that they roll away in time. Roberts wants to get this away, try and set them on the front foot, just inside the Firwood Waterloo 10-metre line. Good hands to find it out for Okoku. Made some key yards, Georgina Roberts. 7th appearance this season. Central position, they opt to come back. It wasn't the pass that Laura Delgado wanted, the Spaniard who's joined DMP this season. It was just behind her from Roberts. Players arriving. Just need to get that timing right for them to be able to have the maximum impact as they come around. But now they go, they're queuing up here certainly. Blacklock managing to provide the extra pair of hands to get that offload away for Caitlin Simpson. Blacklock again wants to try and test that 10 channel. And Firwood Waterloo were up to it defensively. Taylor now putting a little bit more width on it. That was slightly behind Taylor of the Lindsay variety, but now they come forward again here, DMP. They are looking dangerous with ball in hand. Need to make sure they maintain the accuracy. Really solid tackle from Perrin. Back they come through Trudy Cowan into the second row. Last game in the second row was 3 matches ago against Gloucester Hartpury. Now they come back. Taylor went for the little shorter pop pass, but it just fell a little low out of the hands, didn't it? And for all of the bluff and bluster that we're seeing from DMP, though, Firwood Waterloo can feel pretty pleased with their defensive effort.
I think so, yeah. Just sort of watching the back row there, the work rate from the Waterloo players is absolutely outstanding. They're getting around the park really well, and some key tackles. The younger Alyssa there on the wing, 17 years of age, put a superb tackle in, and you know certainly is playing bigger and more experienced than she actually is. It's a good start defensively for Waterloo. They just need to keep some ball and do something with it.
It's the voice of Jill Burns, who is with us for this afternoon's match. Former England women's captain, World Cup winner 1994, if you are just joining our coverage. Kieran's kick has just ended up going straight down the throat of Evie Tonkin, who then gets the ball away for Lindsay Taylor. Now Roberts, which way is she going to go? Opts to come to the left, but, well, our referee thinks that there was a bit of crossing in the middle there. So there will be a penalty to Firwood Waterloo and a chance for them to clear the lines.
Yeah, I think Maury Grieve there, our Scottish international scrum half, will be disappointed with the clearance kick, normally far more accurate than that, and it's giving DMP the ball back so they can attack again. Waterloo really need to work out how to retain a bit of ball, and perhaps getting it to touch might have helped.
Yeah, it comes down for Okoku, having not found touch, and then Blacklock with the carry. Nearly a perfect rip in the tackle, but it was just a knock-on, and then Okoku's not held. So while the referee plays the knock-on advantage...
There's no advantage for here. Tackle was clearly released.
Well, we're coming back for the penalty.
Tackler must release.
Tackler not releasing is the call. So this will be a chance for the Sharks to try and kick this into the corner. Well, that has skewed off the outside of the boot and will go dead, so we will come back.
Yeah, both teams need to work on the accuracy of the kicking game in particular. It's not gone according to plan so far, but the game is young and there's nerves out there at the moment, so let's hope both teams settle and provide an interesting spectacle going forward. There's currently an injury to Laura Perrin in midfield. Great player that Waterloo have, a great centre. She was in the England under-20s set-up a couple of years ago, and is just coming back from injury. She's been looking good in training and certainly played well in the victory over Richmond.
Okay, time back on. Scrum's here.
And the sun just disappears behind the clouds. It is going to get chilly up here, but pretty good conditions. Other than that, not too much of a breeze. Got a really good position on this scrum. Mary Grieve,
Bind.
Selkirk-born scrum half.
Set.
She's a full-time vet. Played in 4 out of 5 the Scottish Six Nations games in 2019. Little dummy on the inside from Els Isaac. Waterloo wanting to come round the corner and get their hands on it. Perrin straight back into the action. Sort of got that tall physical presence, almost Amber Reid-like. It's another player that is returning this weekend. Capable of punching down that 12 channel. Slightly higher pass for Isaac to take. Needed to make a decision as to whether to get the offload away or continue to take it forwards. And get the call on the outside. Looking to try and straighten is Lise Colton, 19-year-old who is Manchester-based. Of course, with these northernmost English clubs, there is a bit of a connection to Scotland. DMP arguably with the stronger connection, although, of course, Scottish scrum half is playing at Firwood.
Push back.
Waterloo going again, happily keeping it in hand. Good swatting of the first defender there from Isaac. Good service from Grieve. Waterloo need to find a way to keep going through. There was nearly the rip in the tackle. Tamara Taylor with the upper body strength. And now the kick. And is that going to bounce nicely into touch? Yes, it is. Good game management from Firwood Waterloo, and they've managed to get themselves out of their half comfortably.
It's about time, and they're pleased that we're actually venturing into the DMP half.
Okay, this is green.
We were talking before about Mari Grieve, the Scottish scrum half, and the wonderful thing about a lot of the girls who are playing like Mari is that they started in primary school. They've grown up as rugby players, and that's why the skill level at this Tyrrells Premiership level is now so good.
Advantage scrum, that's forward.
Advantage being played. Caris Hall going in and playing scrum half just while Grieve was at the bottom of the previous pile-up.
Scrum advantage over.
Waterloo looking at the crossfield kick here. This is a decent option for Elisa Jennings, and it's going to cause a Koku to try and tiptoe down the whitewash, and she's not managed to stay in field. So Firwood Waterloo with that crossfield kick will benefit from getting an extra, well, certainly an extra 10 metres from where the line-out was on the other side a couple of moments ago. So
there you are.
Continuing to go in the right direction.
Yeah, Iggs there from DMP knows a lot of the Waterloo girls well. She plays in the Lancashire team, and a lot of the Waterloo girls do too.
I would like you to form the line, please.
There's a lot of friends out there playing on opposite teams today.
Yeah, quite a few of the players, as you mentioned, playing for Lancashire, where Jill Burns is now president. I'm not sure that we mentioned that since we've been on air. So she's had a sparkly jacket on when I got here.
Good turnover. Leave it green.
I always like to wear my sparkly jacket.
Yeah, well, in fact, we've been so well looked after here that I've been given a full Christmas roast in a bap, including gravy, as Firwood awarded the penalty. And
first players on their feet.
And the fantastic staff here. We're all wondering whether they needed to prepare a musical number because we brought the cameras. So you never know what's going to happen at Firwood Waterloo when you bring the cameras. Our friends here on Merseyside are prepared to entertain as and when we need them.
Just here.
Well, good opportunity this for Firwood Waterloo.
Yeah.
T comes onto the field, and Eleanor Isaac is going to have a look at the posts.
Yeah, it would be certainly a good time to score for Firwood Waterloo, and totally against the run of play. But it shows what they can actually do if they retain possession for periods of time. So let's hope Els can stay cool and slot this between the posts.
Flags are raised.
Superb kick, well done, Els. Els, an outdoor girl at heart. She loves her outdoor ed, but she's been a rugby player since she was under 6. Another young lady that started at an early age, and well done for scoring that important penalty.
Now, if I refer to this too much, I'm going to be at risk of ageing you more than you actually are. But I mean, that sort of sense of, as you mentioned, of who these players who were playing since they were children. I mean, is that a real sense to you with your experience that it's a very different picture from when you started?
Absolutely. I was 23 when I started and had a wonderful 14-year career with England and played for 17, 18 years. But if only I'd played as a child, I'd have absolutely loved it, but arguably maybe my career wouldn't have lasted so long, so I won't change a thing, Nick. I'm happy the way it went. Absolutely.
Well, it's certainly my elder sister went to Sussex University, walked into the halls in about 1987 and said, right, where do I register for the women's rugby team? And the captain of the first 15 boys gave her a clipboard and said, here you are, you're the captain.
Fantastic. And that's the way we all started, and that's why it's grown into the wonderful game that it is today.
Backwards.
Waterloo having to do a little bit of tidying up here. Stepping back inside goes Rachel Thomas.
Rook.
Good work by Nessa Temple just to hold on to that. Need a bit of help there with Isaac out of it, so... oh, sorry, with Grieve out of it. Isaac coming in at 10. There is Mary Grieve. Looks to try and pick. But you don't do that easily into a player like Tamara Taylor. Waterloo going straight up again through Thomas. Good carry. Just got a player down. Now it's out from Isaac again. Little cut back in field from Delaney, the Irish international. Named this week in the Irish Women's Six Nations squad, but it's a penalty to DMP. It was good first position defensively from the visitors to force the turnover.
Time off.
Yeah, Waterloo really going to have to make sure they clear out, stopping short really of the breakdown, and then letting DMP get the hands in there and get that very good turnover. I'm not quite sure, somebody down in midfield for Waterloo, but Mari Grieve, what a great pick and go there. She's a sharp player, and she's got the likes of Vanessa Temple, one of our rugby league converts, who's playing really well in the back row. Used to be a fullback, very good fullback, but is playing with tremendous enthusiasm and commitment in the back row. And then we saw a nice run up the field from our wonderful club captain, Rachel Thomas, known as Tom Tom, famous for that nod on the Tyrrells Premier highlights that we don't see very often, because Waterloo don't win that often, but however when we do see it, it's wonderful to see, and we give her loads of stick. But we were privileged though this week, Lauren Delaney, our Irish international fullback, of course won the try of the week, and
yeah,
what a great one it was as well.
Yeah, well, we'll hopefully have a look at that at half time, the lovely show and go in those round 9 try lights, and yeah, certainly worth a look. Darlington Mowden Park Sharks were in those highlights reels as well. Evie Tonkin getting a try against Bristol.
Time back on, holding on. We're gonna
Lisa
play.
Thompson is on the ball.
There's your mark.
Scored against Bristol and again in the last round, and Richmond in round 5. Now, that kick might not have made touch, or it just about has. Played a year in Lille as well. Likes of Chloe Rowley as well, who was out there.
Just off the line this way, yeah.
28 caps for Scotland, Lisa Thompson. Often combining with Lisa Martin, who we saw in action last weekend on our live streaming coverage here on Tyrrells Premier 15s. Now DMP have chucked the numbers into this.
Some more. 6 was always
looking to try and make this a team shove, but Waterloo have managed to put some numbers in. What's the referee going to make of this? If they can't get this to ground, it will be the turnover, and that's what Firwood Waterloo get.
On the ball. It's a failed maul.
Yeah, the Firwood Waterloo will be very pleased with that. I did think they'd set up well, DMP, and I thought they were on the way over, but good defence, and time for Waterloo to have some possession again.
Here we are.
think Rachel McLaughlin just lost her GPS monitor. Just to make sure she's not handing her meters made and efforts done to someone else.
Bind. Set. Stand, please. Both players have dropped their bind on this side. We're going to reset.
All the analysis work that's done these days is absolutely fantastic, and the sort of information that the girls get back after each game is wonderful. So they can put things right that are going wrong, and they're all guided so well now with the wonderful support that's put in place around the teams.
Crouch.
Well, it is so key, isn't it? And we've seen the successes that the likes of Saracens and Harlequins have had, being able to align themselves with strong and established men's outfits.
Yes, yeah, get lots of support from the clubs as a whole.
Really good carry from Perrin. They've had to come back. Isaac has done well. Ikoku takes it on the full, on the left wing, plays it back in field for Blacklock. Blacklock looking out wide for support from Thompson, but Thompson was under all sorts of pressure. Chucked the ball away, but ended up managing to get it tidied up by Evie Tonkin.
Rock, no 14, no hands.
Former captain of the Leeds Beckett University team, led them to promotion in the Bucks University League North Premiership.
Advantage.
And DMP are combining the variance between the backs getting the run on and then the forwards, and then Tonkin again using the feet. She is a threat.
Still playing.
22 years of age. Delgado is waiting in field to carry it from Taylor, manages to do so. Tackling from Waterloo is good. Carrie Tooley trying to get in and force the turnover there.
Okay, there's no advantage coming. 7 green is offside.
Well, we're coming back. It's a penalty against the Northern Irish woman, Storm Cobain.
Yeah. Thank you. 7 green is offside. Yeah.
Yeah, Storm is one of Waterloo's hardest training committed players. She's made a real impact since coming on board, and she works really hard and shares all her training videos and clips with the rest of the squad, which I'm sure inspires those who are not quite as keen to get out there. And her first club, of course, was Malone in Belfast, which is very dear to my heart, because when we went to the last Women's World Cup, we were camping, all the old girls, and we were camping at Malone Rugby Club, and very kindly their wonderful president let us camp indoors because there was a hurricane on its way. So we camped in a rugby bar in Malone Rugby Club for the duration of the 2017 World Cup.
I bet that was a quiet tour.
It was absolutely wonderful. They were such great hosts.
Blacklock then to try and bring DMP level from the penalty. And it's straight through the upright, so 3 points apiece.
Yes, I think it's DMP will be happy they've actually got a score on the board now, and they're certainly deserving of that 3 points of the hard work they've put in so far.
Beth Blacklock, 7 points from the boot against Bristol, has just moved over 50 points for the season, up to 52 now. If it gets too chilly, I'm just going to go and cuddle that puppy. I've decided. Good solid tackle as DMP tried to run that one back. Now on the right shoulder. You can see Roberts working hard to try and get the bodies through to the... She's got a clearer service to Blacklock. Looks down the far touchline. Ball has just bounced up nicely for Delaney. He wants to try and return it with interest, but that might just allow DMP a little bit more of a chance to attack into open space. Blacklock gets the ball away to Ikoku. Working quite nicely as a back three so far in this game. Blacklock, Tonkin and Ikoku for DMP. Looking to try and arrive late. Trudy Cowan bursts her way through the gap. Hasn't missed a match this season. Then a little straighten. Waterloo trying to hold them up through Scarlett Fielding. Or was it, it may have been Rachel Thomas, I think. And just a little wider. Here come DMP once more. Ikoku wanted to try and get past, but Waterloo have the numbers there just in time. Isaac with a key tackle before they made any extra yards. Ball is tipped on by Emily Hunter, and it's a really good carry from Amy Oro. That's the danger that she can pose. Quicker ball for Georgina Roberts, but she's well scragged. Thomas wasn't going to let her get away. They want to try and hold the DMP scrum half up. In fact, they've turned it over. That is brilliant work from Thomas.
Tackle, release,
DMP
6. Well done.
Back three are now having to get themselves in position for the kick that they know is coming from Isaac. Oh, it's really well taken, isn't it, by Thompson? It's got Blacklock inside. Ikoku is over here. That looks a little bit forward from our position. And I think the assistant down here is going to advise the man in the middle. Relatively unforced error, you have to say. But Firwood Waterloo doing a decent job of putting pressure on DMP when they don't have the ball. And we heard at the beginning of the match from Neil Ryan that that is something that they want to do.
Yes, the training's been going well with Director of Rugby Neil Ryan at the helm, and the head coach Callum has been doing a fantastic job with the girls, and you can see them developing. And watching the Centre of Excellence this morning, and there's young girls there who are aspiring to play for the side, and certainly some of our first team squad members have come through that system, and it's lovely to see 17, 18-year-olds coming into the first team and development taking place. So yeah, all going well.
Oh yeah, Lisa Jennings, the left winger, just 17 years of age for Firwood Waterloo. We've got Maisie James on the bench for DMP as well, but this is an opportunity for the break. That's nice from Delaney, and she's really stretching away here. Delaney wanting to try and sell the dummy again, but the last tackles are going to be missed. Delaney to go the length and score the game's first try, and what a cracker.
What a fantastic score from Lauren Delaney. She shows the ball, people take the dummy, and she gets through those spaces. She's a dangerous player, scored a fantastic try. I think it's the only time I've ever cheered when Ireland scored against England at Twickenham. A similar sort of mazy run, and she scored the try against England, and there she is, breaking a few tackles and finishing strongly. Well played, Lauren.
Well, Blacklock and Ikoku almost didn't really help each other there because they sort of collided as they tried to make the last-ditch tackle. But Firwood Waterloo won't mind. Sports nutritionist Lauren Delaney showing the Irish selectors that she's putting a marker down. Six Nations starting in only a matter of weeks.
Yes, time flies by, doesn't it? And suddenly we're back round again to that. My favourite time of the year, the Six Nations.
Yeah.
Wonderful rugby, stirs passions from everybody from every nation, and thoroughly looking forward to it.
Isaac looking to push it to double figures.
Well done.
No problem.
Yeah, great kick from Els, our electrical engineer there. Obviously worked out exactly the angle she needed to put the ball through the sticks there, and it sailed through at the top. Well played, Els.
You've also got Claire Hutchinson, who, as part of the prep as I was given this week, discovered works with submarines as a mechanical draftswoman.
Yes. As ever, women's rugby teams are made up of all sorts of people with different careers, and it's a fantastic mix that we have here at Firwood Waterloo. But yeah, great work rate from the back row.
Firwood Waterloo 10, Darlington Mowden Park Sharks 3. As the Sharks go with the restart. They get a big chase on, but it will just beat everybody and bounce into touch over at the far stand.
Blue, here we are. Thank you.
Yeah, Darlington's big, strong runners are playing really well, and you know, with the ball in hand. And we even have one of the girls there, Amy Oro. She's an ex-Waterloo girl. She played for us a good few years ago now, but they're doing damage when they've got the ball in hand. But the Firwood Waterloo defence is holding them out at the moment.
Isaac just ponders on the ball momentarily, but then fizzes a beautiful left to right pass. Roberts going backwards. Lisa Thompson wants to make sure that she's not in front of that. Now Blacklock arrives, plays it away for Ikoku. Right-hand fend from the winger up to the 22. Colton wants to try and get in there and spoil, but it comes back for Cowan. Good tackle from Hutchinson, just as we mentioned her a moment ago. DMP chucking the numbers in to try and drive their way through the tackle. Isaac there doing the defensive job. Little juggle from Delgado. Just managed to hold on to it. Roberts has a look, but I think the forwards are suggesting they want to have a go. Rachel McLaughlin, one of those who jumps in the sidecar to drive around a couple of metres. Then it's Emily Hunter. Of course, no Lisa Coburn at the minute for DMP, Scottish international. No Lana Skeldon as well. Two players with international class. Two ingredients from that front row that could make that key difference. DMP are happily sticking it up the jumper for a few more carries, and it's another Scottish international, McLaughlin, who's managed to go all the way. Oh, look at the strength from the back rower. Rewarded with some strong performances, played very well against Saracens, scoring a try in that match. And she's got herself onto the score sheet here.
Yeah, I knew that was the way they were going to be a danger. Mentioned it a few minutes ago, with ball in hand and running hard at that defensive line. It's you know, a sure way of scoring eventually. And the Firwood Waterloo defence up to this point has been very good, but if you keep bashing at it that hard, you're going to break through. So a good score for DMP there.
Yeah, Beth Stafford, just one of those in there that just lost her grip on McLaughlin as she went through strongly.
Yeah, I think the turnover came from a nice break from Waterloo, and then the ball was stripped out well by a DMP player, and then with that disorganised defence, perhaps a little bit easier for them to score.
Blacklock prods it through. And then a game where Firwood Waterloo keep taking the lead. DMP keep reeling them in. Really strong left-hand fend, wasn't it, just to get away from those defenders.
Good big strong player, and there is Tamara Taylor backing her up. She's shaking off that injury, gritting her teeth and getting on with it.
10 points apiece. Trudy Cowan showing some good pace on those kick receipts. Ball's just gone forwards there, though.
Leave the ball, whistle, ladies. Whistle.
Just a little bit inaccurate from Hunter.
Marks here, please.
Our young hooker there, Scarlett Fielding, plays much older than she is. She's been in the England under-18 setup and beat Scotland, I believe.
Yeah.
And she has a real passion for skiing, does Scarlett. And she certainly likes flying fast around the rugby pitch as well, so she's been a great asset to our squad.
Set! Stand. Yeah. It's okay, we're going to reset.
Referee just wants this one reset.
It must be a height, yeah. It must be a height we can maintain. So let her get ahead in the gap. Don't stop her from getting her head placement, please. Yeah. We'll reset here, okay?
Our club captain, Rachel Thomas, is having a good game, good solid game. A talented junior footballer she was. She was on Fulham's books as a young lady. But at age 16, Fulham decided they didn't want her anymore, and that was rugby's game, because she turned to the great game that we love and has played from junior level in Surrey and London and the South East, and she's been playing for Lancashire, the North West, the North, even the RGC she's played for with our Welsh links. So she's had a fantastic rugby career and is playing really well today. So she's a properly inspirational club captain.
That last one's much better. Yeah. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Good central position this for Firwood Waterloo, if they can try and use good first phase ball here. They've got Delaney off to the right, but they're going to choose the option of going to the left, and now trying to put a bit more width on it for Caris Hall. And Hall, oh, what a brilliant run from Hall. Into the 22 she goes, still not downed.
No release.
Worryingly for DMP, Tamara Taylor is down once more.
Push back.
Oh, in fact, it's not Taylor. Taylor involved in the tackle there. Perhaps it was Cowan. Saw the long blonde hair. But Firwood Waterloo still coming forwards. That ball offloaded, or was it touched on the floor? Referee says it was. For a moment I wondered if it was just an offload and a bounce, but that'll be frustrating. But lovely break from Caris Hall.
Yeah, it's great to see Caris when there's any space on the field. She will find it. She's got an evasive feet, and here she goes. You can see she's changes direction well. She's such an agile player. 1 tackle missed, 2 tackles missed, and finally, yeah, she was tackled eventually, but it was a good gain. And Caris has done some great work this week, reaching out into the community. We've been out and we've got some food bank collections that we've been doing, and Caris went down to meet the lady that organised that down there in Bootle. And we've got a huge table full of donations from the Firwood Waterloo squad and friends and supporters. So it's lovely that we're working with the local community in that way.
Yeah, secondary science teacher by day, Caris Hall. Sheffield ball winger.
And absolutely amazing at weighted pull-ups. Very, very fit in the gym, and she likes to show off the things she can do really well, which is most things in the gym.
If you've got it, flaunt it.
Absolutely.
Stand, please. Okay. You're closing the space. I understand. Let me come
so nice to see the girls playing this sort of pure version of the game, and everybody's understanding of the laws, and you have the 3 officials, and it's all so clinical, really. But it's so nice to see. It's a far cry from 30 years ago when it was somebody's uncle had come out and referee, and the girls didn't know the laws, and we'd all try our best, and there'd be lots of things happening off the ball and stuff. It's just the game's developed so much over the years, and it's great to see it in the state it's in today.
From small acorns develop mighty oaks, right?
Absolutely. Each of my thighs has been described as a mighty oak in the past.
The less said about that, the better, as DMP come forward to the 22. Amy Oro with the carry. They then send it back for Blacklock to clear the lines. There's Caris Hall who's under it. She's had 1 decent run. Is she going to fancy another? Oh, she wants to try and play a bit of cat and mouse with Evie Tonkin. Tonkin eventually doing enough. Good arrival from Fielding.
Rock, let go!
Hooker, whose first club was Caldy RFC. And right on the line, all bouncing off. That was Thomas against Hunter.
Rock!
2 loose heads colliding. It was a really good position for the turnover, but just cleared out in enough time. And the offload, little no-look pass to Lise Colton. But it's a penalty to DMP. They do manage to get in with the steal the second time. It was a good clear out the first time from Firwood, but not quite able to send the numbers in time second time round. And it will be a penalty for DMP. Let's just have another little look at this. Colton, who went in. But look, it's the try scorer. Brilliant from McLaughlin. Great low position, and she was immovable.
Yeah, she's got a really good low centre of gravity and gets down in a comfortable position. It's really difficult for the ball carrier to get the ball away there.
Clearance kick didn't quite make touch, so Els Isaac is able to turn that one around and just almost grubber it through.
Green, on the line, please. Thank you.
Our Waterloo centre, Laura Perrin, she works up at Fylde Rugby Club as a like a rugby development officer, and did some great work during the World Cup with young girls at a World Cup event at Sedgley Park, and there was 150 young girls there from various schools, and Laura went to support that. It was a great morning.
Well, it's hearing stories as well. I mean, I've encountered people that were at the England-Italy women's match and taking a couple of, young boys, brothers, and they'd been to a couple of England women's games, and they turned around and said, it was almost a question of whether the men play, whether there's a chance to go and watch the men, because they loved watching the women, so they wondered if there was a men's side. I mean, that's a lovely story I heard.
Well, my favourite story is that still from Debs Griffin, who of course is England's rep on World Rugby now. Debs Griffin's daughter, when she was a youngster, Vicky, she used to watch Debs every time. She'd go to training, she'd go to the matches, and then one day she saw some men playing and said, Mummy, there's men playing rugby over there. Like, how dare they play your game? But yeah, that was a favourite story. But rugby's for whoever wants to play it now, and quite rightly so.
Absolutely. And so say all of us.
Here we are.
10-all then, as we're ticking towards half-time. Coffees are on the go. Emily Hunter's going to get in place for this one.
Ball at the front, Maul.
Well taken down in the middle. DMP want to try and get a rumble on here. Waterloo not quite standing up to it just yet. And then the break and the offload. Cowan. Rachel Thomas nearly turning over another one there, and now they're trying to ruck through and cause a bit of a problem. Referee tells them to make sure that they're doing it legally through the gates. Just driven back off it. It's a good drive back. Delgado thought there was a chance down there, but defensively Waterloo was sound. Really good work from Cobain. Roberts has a look left, only really Delgado was an option, so she's going to go off to the right through Kenny Thomas, who then plays it away to Lisa Thompson. Ball's gone forwards though, and again just that key moment of inaccuracy after Waterloo have defended well, and that's what's kept Waterloo in this game. It's had them leading twice.
Absolutely, yeah, they're making the big tackles, putting pressure on where it counts, and you know, eventually the pressure pays, and DMP knocked on there. A bit of a mix-up, I think. Didn't quite go according to plan.
These two teams met in round 2 at the end of September. Darlington Mowden Park Sharks coming out 20 points better off, 46 points to 26. That one finished. Last home game here was 22-14 to the home side.
Yeah, it's always been the good battle of the north, the local derby. Both teams enjoy playing.
It's the last battle of the north of the decade. We can start to say things like that now as we approach the end of 2019. Away come Firwood, wanting to show some ambition of running it out. Caris Hall coming off her wing to add a bit of support in the middle. Isaac has got plenty of air on that, coming down for Blacklock. Looks at the options left, but wants to come right for Thompson. Thompson then just prods it through. Blacklock is screaming after this. They need to try and get down on it. Blacklock was the one who got the first touch, but has knocked it on.
Lost forward from blue.
I think we're going to go back for the scrum. Not play the advantage from the kick. So Firwood Waterloo, well, they've been having to do a lot of it from their own 22.
Well, Blacklock was the one running back with determination there, and she's unlucky really, because the Waterloo girls were a little bit pedestrian in returning back to get that ball. They need to sharpen up a little bit, or these DMP forwards are going to make them pay. It's great today. We've had the pre-match lunch with 60 or so hearty revellers up in the international suite, and it's great to see some of the old girls. I mean, the really old girls, almost as old as me, and some of our not so old girls, the girls who've recently retired or are currently injured up there, having a really nice afternoon. So it's good to see them all back supporting.
The TVs are not there, so Jill Burns knows exactly what she's doing by calling out her old mates, I think. Oh, it's just lost by Waterloo, so this could be key knock-on advantage, turnover, possession for the visitors. Fired down the line. Thompson over the top. Pass isn't the easiest for Tonkin. Follow-up tackles will come in. Referee will still be playing that knock-on advantage, you would expect. DMP need to find a way forwards once more. Waterloo, if anything, have driven them backwards in possession. A slight tail of the first half in patches for the home side. Roberts has the options available to a little ball back inside as the likes of Oro and Simpson try and work together. Now it's away for Hunter, gets it on for Kenny Thomas. Vying for that fly half shirt with Sarah Law when she's fit, but referee's coming back here now, and Roberts wants to take the quick tap.
High tackle.
High tackle is the call.
You can go if you want.
I wonder if we're just having a pause for player receiving attention. Questions are just being asked of the referee. Lisa Thompson in there, one of the co-captains.
I think they are just having a little look amongst themselves, possibly to Blacklock, as to what the option wants to be. Are they going to try and get themselves into the lead before half-time via the posts, or are they going to kick it into the corner? And it looks like it's going to be the latter option.
Okay, let's go.
So potentially build from the catch and drive. Thompson to give the forwards a crack.
Okay, time off just for this injury because it's in the way of the play, yeah. Green, you're going to be on the line.
Over there in that
Time's
part
off
of the
just
field
for
used to be
here.
my favourite part of the field to be in attack, not in defence. So let's hope the Waterloo girls are switched on here for this really important part of the game.
Is there any particular reason? Was there a bar over there, or
Just like scoring near the clubhouse, wave to the fans, all that stuff. Yeah.
the glory days?
Who's 9? Push back if you're
It
out,
gets better
please,
and
thank
better
you.
the older I get.
Not quite taken down first time, but DMP able to tidy it up. Firwood Waterloo get a bit of a counter drive on, but now DMP come again with the pick and go game. Seen a fair bit of it. Firwood Waterloo have got to show that they've got the
Hands away.
appetite to keep up this defensive level. Straight through the gate.
Straight off your feet.
Well, momentarily, Firwood Waterloo thought they'd done it right through Nessa Temple. DMP tap and go quickly.
Let the ball come.
I think Temple playing the ball with her hands,
Push back.
possibly going off her feet, may have been the call from the referee. Waterloo wall goes up. Carrie Tooley doing everything she can. Oh, and she's tried to rip that away on the floor. Needed to release it, and well, I think our referee now is just going to have a little word.
Yes, and the Waterloo girls trying their very best there. Carrie Tooley's looking out the corner of her eye. I think Rachel Thomas is going to have to go and have a chat with them to say probably the next person who gives away a penalty like that is actually going to have a yellow card. So discipline really, really key now, this important part of the game.
Now you can play.
It's going to be the tap. Roberts gives it away for Hunter.
Tackle!
Well stopped. Zoe Teese is in there. Wants to go down the blind side. Firwood Waterloo were ready for that. Drive. Teese back. Cowan. Ball's there for DMP again. McLaughlin looking for a second. Got to be careful of where the touchline is, and Firwood Waterloo will want to guide them that way, but referee has his arm out. There's another penalty advantage coming here, and you wonder whether that yellow card might be coming with it. It's not forwards, but he's going to his pocket here, and it is going to be the yellow. Firwood Waterloo are down to 14.
Third penalty in this area. It's over here, please. High.
And that is not what they need. So DMP tap and go again.
Tackle!
Going to have to be even more cautious here with the referee having just produced one yellow card for persistent infringing on the goal line. Would be disastrous if it was to be any more. Then the ball is knocked on by DMP. And in fact that will wrap up the first half. Well, Rachel Thomas it is who has left us with the yellow card.
Okay, back on, half time.
Yeah, obviously commentators curse. I praised her and said what a wonderful game she had, but I don't think it was a deliberate penalty given away there. Waterloo were just desperately trying to defend the lines, and unfortunately it didn't quite work out. So yeah, half time it is, and DMP looking strong, but Waterloo are still in with a shout.
It's the voice of Jill Burns who is with us. If you're just joining our coverage here on Premier15s.com, of course you can watch live via Twitter these days, or via the England Rugby Facebook YouTube page, I should say. And well, we have seen a well fought out first half, 10 points apiece between the two sides. Let's have a little look back then at the scores from that first half. And well, this was brilliant from Delaney with the show, and then collision between the last two defenders, and she was set free.
Yeah. Need more communication at DMP in defence. Should have been somebody calling for it there to make the tackle, but if you give Lauren a chance, she will take it. Certainly very quick, and just kicked off the last couple of attempted tackles there to make sure she scored a good try.
Really solid leg driving, absolutely eating up the turf from Delaney. Look at that show, gets rid of a Koku.
Yeah, she's just grown and grown in the last few years. Ex-basketballer, had all the power and strength, but has really worked on her rugby skills, and she's just turning into a great international player for Ireland.
And then McLaughlin showing the real strength. Seems that this is the game that DMP have brought to play, this pick and go and try and go round the fringes. Seen a little bit of the back line from time to time, but it's been a lot of this, and McLaughlin eventually managing to undo that Waterloo defence that's been so good. Yeah,
McLachlan's played really well from the back row, and you've got big, strong runners. You know, your front row, and certainly Amy Arrow from 8 does some damage as she carries the ball. So yeah, Waterloo have got to keep that defensive line strong. They've got to get some quality ball going forward if they can, to set off the Waterloo back line, who can do damage when they've got ball going forward. So, as the Waterloo DOR, Neil Ryan says, always be a threat. We've just got to provide some good quality ball going forward, because, as you can see, we do score if we have a small space.
Absolutely. Well, 10 points apiece then at half-time, and well, each of these clubs, in fact, featured in round 9 in our reel of tries, because there was a Darlington Mowden Park Sharks break from Cara Cookland, finished by Evie Tonkin, who is, of course, with us today, and well, we had the effort from Lauren Delaney, who was well, it's a lovely show and go in that one as well. So let's remind ourselves of the try-lights from the Tyrrells Premier 15s at round 9. Yeah, great to see the try-lights from round 9 as part of our coverage here. Of course, we were at that Harlequin-Saracens game in the last round. We have also published the list of fixtures that we're going to be covering over the course of the rest of the season, and here are a few other live streams for you to enjoy. We're here, of course, at Firwood Waterloo. Then, yes, it's going to be round 11, which continues on Saturday, the 11th of January, and our cameras are going to Worcester Warriors as they take on Richmond. Should be a fascinating encounter, that one. Then through March, we've got the Schools Cup semi-finals and finals, the Cup, the Vase, the Plate and the Bowl, and then as we look a little bit further through the spring, towards the back end, just after the Women's Six Nations, of course, we are then back into what will be the concluding rounds of the Tyrrells Premier 15s. Bristol Bears women against Harlequins on the 21st of March. Then the 28th, Harlequins women against Loughborough Lightning. And then Saturday, the 11th of April, Gloucester Hartpury women against Bristol Bears. Keep up with all the latest in the table, of course, on Premier15s.com. That's where the fixtures and the results all are. Of course, Harlequins running out winners earlier on. One of their players is, well, someone who's had an enjoyable club career, having come across from, well, athletics, throwing the hammer, throwing the discus, a bit of everything. She's quite the personality as well, and transitioning between the back row and the front row, between club and country. It's great to have a little profile piece here for you, if you have not caught up with it, on the superb Shauna Brown.
So I was doing athletics for a very long time, since the age of 12, probably when most people were starting to play rugby. I'm doing shot put and discus throw, sort of went to World Championships, European Junior Championships, Commonwealth Youth Games, and then my most recent experience was Commonwealth Games in 2014 in Glasgow. So that was sort of the ultimate for me, and it was the big one. And after 2014, I just sort of started falling out of love with it, and I told myself I was going to retire from sport. I thought I'd just be a normal person. I'd go home after work and sit and watch TV and have some family time and just be normal. But that lasted about 2 weeks, and I just kind of got bored at home just after 2014 when I wanted a bit of a change. I thought it's time now to give rugby a go. And a few years later, here I am. Even watching it on TV, the aggression level and just being able to run into people, and you could just so many things that you're allowed to do on a rugby pitch that are not acceptable in normal life, to be honest. So no, I sort of enjoyed that bit of it. And when I had to go, I literally just phoned up my local rugby club, Medway Rugby, asked them what days and what time they trained, and went down there for my first session. And I remember one of the activities was sort of handstand push-ups and wrestling, and again just being aggressive. And I thought, this is great. Like, this is actively encouraged. So it got me hooked from the first session, to be honest. I had my first game of 15s in the December of 2015, and then I remember having a game in April, and I sort of started to understand the ruck laws and sort of where I can go and rucking over or just going straight through. And for me, that was a sort of a small little clicking point. And I actually remember saying to the coach at the time, I think I get it now. Like, I think I get what I have to do. I'm not constantly giving penalties away, and I think I get it. And he goes, okay, good, we'll carry on getting it. And then it was when I was watching the England women in the Six Nations match, and it was around my birthday in March. And watching them on the pitch, I thought, I reckon I could do that.
Great to hear from Shauna Brown, a real character and someone who's certainly enjoying her England career as well. Just to bring you up to date then with a couple of those other results that have already come in. Harlequins, who have seen off Worcester Warriors Ladies by 38 points to 10, and Gloucester Hartpury, who have overcome Wasps by 22 points to 17. So it is a little bit tighter in that one, but Gloucester Hartpury doing the business. And of course, we've got some games that you can buy tickets for as well. Got it all going on. If you haven't sorted out that curious Christmas present for the rugby fan in your life, well, you could do worse than take them to the big game. 12 Harlequins against Leicester Tigers, 28th of December. I'll be hosting the entertainment in the car park if you want to come and say hello. Sunday the 23rd of February, well, there's England women against Ireland women at Castle Park in Doncaster. And of course we were there for their match against France in the 2019 Women's Six Nations. Great to see those games in November also regionalised when we saw well, a roaring Sandy Park as England beat France there in the last couple of minutes. Saturday the 7th of March, England women against Wales. That one is at the Twickenham Stoop, almost the spiritual home of England women. They are returning there. Then Saturday the 18th of April, Bath Rugby against Wasps. That's the clash at Twickenham Stadium. And the 23rd and 24th of May is the HSBC London Sevens, once we're hoping it'll get a little bit warmer. eticketing.co.uk/RFU or englandrugby.com/tickets. So we're just waiting for the teams to come out here. We're going to try and squeeze in another little video for you while we're here, because, well, the former Italy coach, former head coach of Harlequins, incidentally, mentioning in there, Conor O'Shea, is now involved in the player pathway and performance side with England. And, well, we managed to catch up with him and hear a little bit more about it.
Oh, incredibly excited and privileged, honoured, you know, all of the above. It's an incredible opportunity, an opportunity to join at a really exciting time for English rugby. I've, you know, over 6 years at Harlequins, and, you know, the last few exceptional years with Italy, and before that with London Irish. You know, I feel I know the system pretty well. Good times, bad times, winning things and being competitive, and I think I can relate to a lot of the things that go on within the system, and I've learned a huge amount in the last few years internationally. There's an incredible vision within the RFU, not just about winning tomorrow, but sustaining success and winning long into the future, and, you know, looking to re-energise the performance pathway and hopefully help and support push English rugby on. It could be sevens, it could be women's rugby, referees, it's about the stakeholders, and it's about providing a sustainable winning environment and team, and hopefully I can just play my part in creating that environment.
It's a wide-ranging role. We've got our role to play in Team GB and the Olympics in Tokyo, and the women's game continues to go from strength to strength, so he's also responsible and accountable for making sure we continue that growth, and we've got a really good strategy in place for how we compete at the highest level in the women's game. Conor knows Eddie very well, so being able to integrate what's happening at the highest level on the elite side of our game and making sure we've got a seamless approach to coaching and player development right across the age grade will be key. But he will also obviously work very closely with the PRL and the clubs and make sure we've got the right relationships with directors of rugby. There's a lot happening. You know, we've just come off a very successful World Cup, youngest ever team to compete in a World Cup final, so that bodes really well for us going forward. We're looking forward to the Six Nations coming up now, but that as part of a longer journey through to France and 23. So we look at that, we look at the experience of Japan, and we think that's something we can really build on.
So we'll be picking up our coverage in just a moment. The team's just beginning to emerge from the sheds. So make sure you've got yourself a nice warm cuppa. Second half to come in just a moment. So second half about to get underway here at Firwood Waterloo. We have come up to Merseyside for the round 10 match, our last before Christmas, our last of 2019. And well, it's the Battle of the North. If you're just joining us, 10 points apiece between the two sides. Ball being brought onto the field. And well, Jill Burns, who is alongside us, former England women's captain, and Firwood Waterloo president, now Lancashire president. What do Firwood Waterloo need to do second half? Because it certainly will take it out of the legs if they're going to have to continue defending as much as they did in that first half. It's got to be all about getting some territory into DMP's half, right?
Absolutely. They've got to start playing the game in the right part of the field, but they've got to retain possession. They've got to make sure that they can get their exciting backline, some quality ball going forward, and that's where I think things haven't quite gone to plan just yet. But lovely to see our wonderful friend Gail Sutton take the ball on. We're hoping to get involved with some mixed ability rugby up here in Lancashire, and particularly at Waterloo. It'll be one of our sort of partners, and lovely to see Gail taking the ball on for the start of the second half. Waving to the crowd, there she is. Oh, bow as well. Yeah.
She's milking every moment, isn't
Absolutely.
she? Why not? Quite right too.
And Gail was used to dance at my mum's dancing school as a youngster, and used to bring the half-time oranges on when I was playing.
Amazing.
So she couldn't wait to be involved again today.
Fantastic. Restart. Just about goes the 10. Taken in by Delgado. And Roberts clears it above. Delaney is under it. Little dance left. Now wants to come back down the right channel. Was scragged momentarily by Oro. Caris Hall was just coming around to the near side to try and offer herself as a blindside option, but Waterloo
ripped in the tackle.
Well, came forward with Scarlett fielding, but the ball's been lost forward in the tackle, and well, a bit of a high shot there from Laura Perrin, so DMP will now have the penalty on the halfway line.
Great sort of attacking play there from Rachel McLachlan. She's so aggressive and just so
Green,
determined.
Let's work on this tackle height now, please. Here we are, Green. Yes, I've just spoken to them, thank you.
DMP into the line out then. Got plenty of options. Oh, they don't quite get it right. And it has been knocked on. So Firwood Waterloo will live another day following the penalty and then the kick to that line out. So it will be a scrum to the home side. DMP, who've well, they've been undergoing a little bit of transition, having a decent season, as Tamara Taylor said. If they could get victory today and move up the table, it would be their best showing in the Premier 15's table so far. Their average age has dropped a bit. There's been also a bit of an increased competition for places, so they are certainly hoping for a big win here and starting to look at, well, 5th place, with Wasps losing out today, of course, to Gloucester Hartpury, and even perhaps further up the table. DMP want to be in the mixer come the end of the season. For Firwood Waterloo, of course, it's whether they can reel in Richmond, who are currently 1 place above them, both on the same points. Well, that scrum has come back on the DMP side. Oh, Kenny Thomas with the fend, then the tackle. Was that a touch high? Come the same way again. Thompson, little ball back in field for Blacklock. Up over the 22, looking to try and find that offload back inside. Then from Roberts. Oro, oh, stepping straight through, Amy Oro. It's what she's been picked to do. They have a little look right, then they go left. Need the tackles to be good. The leg drive is coming. Delgado thought she might be able to get there, but now have they got the numbers on the left?
Tackle.
Thompson again. Getting closer and closer here. Roberts go left side. Hunter.
It's short, release, green.
Late call up for Heather Kerr. Key cog missing. Low drive. DMP are over.
Yeah, good work there from DMP. Waterloo struggling with that one player, of course, still in the sin bin, down to 14, and they were sort of spread a bit thinly there. But a bit of forward play there from Trudy Cowan to power over there on that left-hand side. Good work going forward there from the front row as well. They're in numbers, providing support, leaving Trudy out there. She wants her chance. She wants her chance. She's waiting for it. She's at the back. There she goes, picks and goes. And although there was a hand almost underneath, unfortunately, it didn't quite count.
And in the to and fro of this game, it's the first time that DMP have gone in front on the scoreboard. The try from Cowan was at 6 last week against Bristol. She's in the engine room with Tamara Taylor this afternoon.
Yeah, it was a good score. I think Katie Horton, the Waterloo player, thought she'd done enough by getting her hands underneath, but certainly some of the ball was grounded, so a fair try there for DMP. Not sure if Katie's little boy's here watching his mum today. He's one of our cutest little mascots, he is. But she came from playing for Eccles and played for the north of England as well, and is now a very proud assistant head. So she's a great rugby player and a big sort of character in our squad here at Firwood Waterloo.
Yeah, one of the replacements, Katie Horton. As Tamara Taylor watches on, hoping her team can compound the scores. Oh, and there's a big collision in the air. Everybody interested in the ball, though, nothing wrong with it. It was Cowan who grabbed it. Roberts. It's a real battle on now. Blacklock.
6, wait.
That's better from the fullback. Really solid kick in terms of territory. And there's big cheers from the replacements on the far side in the stand. Blacklock pleased with herself there.
Yes,
Here we are, Blue.
playing with authority. And she's a very, very solid player there. But it was a great catch from the try scorer. She scores at one end and then catches the kick off. I think when things are going well for you, you play with confidence, and it was well taken.
Let's go, Green.
People talk about a positive action upon a positive action, and that's what DMP have managed to achieve there.
It is. Yeah. Waterloo's still working hard with 14 players.
Ball's been overthrown. DMP with Oro.
Okay,
solid tackle from Perrin.
Green in the turnover, then blue ball. It's knocked on by Green as she's gone to turn.
It was just knocked on in the tackle, so be a scrum.
Yeah, a really good tackle there from Laura Perrin. And when we talk about positive action followed by positive action, Laura Perrin is really a player who does grow with confidence as she does some good things, and she's a cracking player. So I'm looking forward to her next impact in the game. It's been nice to see not only our mixed ability ball carrier at half-time, but we've got the under-8 section, the boys and girls who play in that age group here at Firwood Waterloo, acting as ball girl assistants today, along with our Centre of Excellence, older girls who are organising.
So big moment in the game this. Ball has come straight out the back. Mary Grieve needs to put the pressure on, which she's managed to do, and then Blacklock with the knock-on. That is the result that Firwood Waterloo wanted. As Jill Burns says, defending with 14 currently. Of course, with Rachel Thomas in the bin from the end of that first half.
Once again, it was that relentless pressure from Claire Hutchinson. She's almost like the silent assassin. She quietly makes her way around the park, but she gets herself into some great positions and really makes a nuisance of herself, as any good back row player should.
Yes.
And she's been doing that today.
Crouch.
Claire Hutchinson's twin sister Emma used to play as well. I wish she was still playing. Another cracking player. Did confuse the opposition though, the identical twins.
Yeah. Well, there were the Shuttleworths in the varsity match recently, Fiona and Jenny.
Free kick. Whistle. The first push was early.
Free kick to Firwood Waterloo. DMP front row getting a bit overexcited and engaging a little early.
It's good to see Kira McCosh back onto the field again, one of our older players who is a cracking second row forward who has played a bit of rugby league this year as well. And I like to think we're building strong bridges and friendships with our rugby league friends in this neck of the woods, because I see it as a positive thing, and both games should grow together, and the women's games grow alongside each other.
Yeah, it's a good outlook to have.
Yeah, Kiri was part of the winning Warrington Wolves ladies team, so they did really well. She's back here to play for Firwood Waterloo today and do her stuff.
More.
DMP getting the numbers in there well.
It's the same more.
Caitlin Simpson trying to steer this from the back. She's got her hands on it. Roberts was wondering whether she's going to get her hands on it to release the back line, but at the minute the forwards are quite happy with the job that they're doing. And then the break from Oro.
Roll. Yeah, ball's there, well done.
Northeast cry of "come on, Amy" from the far side as Roberts plays back in field. Kenny Thomas then working with Taylor, but there was a bit of obstruction as they played the ball to each other there, not allowing the defenders to get through and make the tackle. So Waterloo will have the penalty, and in fact it looks like there's been a bit of back chat. So the referee...
A little bit of crossing there in midfield. It's happened a couple of times today, and I think DMP are running some moves and not really looking at what's in front of them. I mean, there's occasions when they've only put their heads up and seen what was in front of them. I think they'd have been in for a score, but that's what I like to encourage when I talk to the younger girls, to keep their head up, to read the game and then decide what they're going to do when they see what's in front of them.
Gone back.
Cowan with the take. Now they play it away for Tonkin. Tonkin is flying up this right side. Back in field, Cowan. She's everywhere at the minute. Plays it back. Roberts. Zoe Teese has lost it in the tackle.
Backwards.
Firwood Waterloo. What can they do with this? Bit of possession. Hutchinson looks to try and straighten. Set them a good platform in the middle. That's what you want your back rowers to do, and Hutchinson's done it well there. Now the kick. Has that just bounced and skipped into touch nicely? It has. That'll do.
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you. Replacement, please. Blue 5.
Yeah, great to see Claire Hutchinson going into that last drive forward. The leg drive from her. She's not the biggest of players, but her leg drive really drove the Waterloo players downfield, and we want some ball going forward, which is exactly what they need to do. Great strip of the ball by Kieran McCosh, showing her strength there and turning over the ball in the middle of the pitch.
A few changes being made as well. I can see the likes of Lois Brown is onto the field.
Girls. No.
That's not straight.
We're going to have the line out again.
No.
We've got an early jump from Green and then it's not straight, so we're going to have it again.
The referee decides that there were a few
Green,
working
don't
parts of
jump
that
early.
weren't quite on the
Blue,
money,
let's
the
have it
early
first
jump
straight.
and the misaligned throw, so we're just going to go again from the top. Hunter. Was that much straighter?
Very fractionally straight.
Oh, that's a lovely little short ball for Blacklock. Really good line. Arrived at just the right moment and then manages to make an extra few yards. Not held in the tackle. Roberts, options left, chooses to use them.
Roll away.
Firwood Waterloo having to do
The ball is there.
so much defensive work. Oro nearly bowled through that first tackle. Thompson.
Oh, 12, no.
Kenny Thomas running through on the outside. That was very nicely done from Lauren Delaney, almost stooping over the edge of her 22 there, just to scoop that one in and call the mark. Really good awareness from the Irish fullback.
Yeah, she's glad she wasn't wearing her big boots today, I think. Her toes were just about up to the line. So.
Yeah.
It's inside.
Opted to just take the little cute one and send it forwards, and then Tonkin has tried to control it. What's the assistant saying?
It's not going to touch scrum or line out.
Saying there was a knock-on as well into touch, so they'll get the option of the scrum or the line out, and Firwood Waterloo happy to take the scrum. That's some of the ball boys and ball girls that Jill Burns is referring to. It is it's certainly a special family club atmosphere up in the northwest.
Crouch.
The battle of the north between these two sides.
Bind.
Each of them winning on their home turf in their last two encounters. Firwood Waterloo, who need to get the next score if they're going to reel Darlington Mowden Park Sharks in. Get the ball away. It's there for Isaac. Now trying to put a bit more width on it. No, and that's nicely taken. Delaney on the wide outside, trying to stretch DMP. Cutting back in. Laura Perrin. Really good drive defensively.
Okay, move now, Blue.
Waterloo struggling to just get their hands on the ball with enough consistency. Fielding will take it forwards. Grieve plays it away, looking for more options.
Grips in the tackle.
Round the corner. Delaney is screaming that they needed a scrum half there, but in the meantime it is turned over. Kenny Thomas plays it away. Now they look to try and find the extra player on the outside. Tonkin.
Scrum. Thank you, Adam.
Did come off a Firwood Waterloo hand in the tackle there. I think it was off Caris Hall possibly, so they've got a knock-on advantage here.
Advantage over.
Cowan.
Tackle!
Double hit on the 10-metre line. McLaughlin, well down by Hutchinson. Roberts thinks about going the same way, decides to come back where Cowan is lurking, onto Delgado. Kenny Thomas is arriving to add a bit of protection. Then the carry.
Now.
Tamara Taylor. Off they come again for Hunter. Oro releases it for Hunter out of the back of the hand. Good change of the point of attack, just as Waterloo thought they were doing enough to stop it. Cowan again, McLaughlin trying to find the hole to put somebody through. You sensed it might have just been coming for a moment. Roberts again, they reload. Blacklock wants to try and go herself. Now they're lining up. Did that go forwards? Happy enough from our angle. Possibly not the easiest to tell. Both of the officials seem happy. McLaughlin trying to use the footwork. She's got one already this afternoon. Hutchinson had to cling on and make sure that her opposite flanker was downed. Oh, they try and arrive late though, DMP, and then they just knock it on once more. You can't fault the effort, but the accuracy is just a little wanting at times.
It is. I think that's the difference really with the teams that are in the middle and the bottom part of the Tyrrells Premiership. It's just not quite as clinical as it is for the players and the teams that are at the top. And that's what these teams have to do to sort out to be able to compete with the big clubs.
To apply that to the broader conversation, we've not talked about it much this afternoon, Jill, but obviously we know this is the end of the 3-year cycle from the initial sort of Premier 15's contracts that were given to clubs. Clubs like Firwood Waterloo are going to be in the mix to have to re-tender with those that want to join the league. And as you say, the desire is to improve the skill set of these players to have a more competitive overall league. But ultimately there is that pressure, knowing that others want to come in as well. Absolutely, yes. And you've got to raise your game, which is obviously what we're trying to do at the moment. And you need new partnerships, you need new areas to develop, and we're doing our best, and we're going to give it a go, and Waterloo never lie down and die. We shall always battle till the end, and we'll see what happens. They're struggling with this scrummage though, but we managed to get it away. Goodness, well they certainly were under pressure, but for Mary Grieve to have done so well and found the time to make that clearance was pretty impressive. They're going to probably have to defend it all over again from the line out. Yeah, they are. I mean, certainly DMP are the strongest scrummage here today. Waterloo have managed to hold their own a few times, but certainly a strength that DMP have. And I know how I'd be playing the game if I was a DMP player at this point in time. Up the jumper. Cowan is the jumper. Low drive. Delgado. Oro is waiting. They're all queuing up here. Teese wants to go herself. A couple of metres short. Waterloo need to try and stay legal. Back up to the full complement. They don't want to send someone else to the bin at this stage. Sharks go towards that far corner flag. Push back, Green. Cowan just waiting for it. Tackle. Back foot. Roberts wants to put a bit more width on it now. Tries to get it away for Lois Brown to do the work. Replacement onto the field, but she's well driven back. Really solid work from Firwood Waterloo, getting the numbers in there. Scarlett Fielding getting under the ball once more, and again they go. Delgado stopped again. It's a really impressive effort. You sense that the door might have to be barged down eventually. Back in field comes Ikoku. Wingers come in searching for work, seeing what the forwards are up to. Now the ball's been lost. Can Waterloo turn this over? Goodness me, what a Herculean defensive effort that is from Firwood Waterloo. Absolutely. You see the girls congratulating each other on the work that's done there. A great sort of double tackle there. Fantastic work, and Laura Perrin grounding the ball and making sure it's secure at the end. But yeah, great defence in and around that ruck. There was no way they were going to sneak in around the side, so defensively very, very sound at the moment. They've got some solid lumps in that pack, haven't they, DMP? So certainly have, yeah. So it's no mean feat to put the work in and keep holding them out. Yeah, doing well. But yeah, we're down near the Waterloo try line, so it's not the best part of the field to be in. But let's see if we can win some clean ball here. It's going to be a big scrum. We want to win some clean ball. Well, we certainly saw the shove that came on from the blue and whites at the last scrum, which pretty much sent Waterloo back over their own line. They did incredibly well to control it at the back, to allow Grieve to get the clearance away. It's just gone down momentarily here. We have seen DMP pinged for an early shove. How Firwood Waterloo would love that to be the result and have a more calmed clearance with a free kick, but replacements onto the field. Get rid of the turf from under the boots, try and get every advantage for a bit more traction, and on we go. Big moments this.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
In from Grieve. Not entirely sure it was hooked either way there. Referee's had the signal from his assistant and it's just popped straight back out. We go again.
Yeah, Scarlett's under pressure in that front row, is finding it difficult to make the strike, so she just needs a little bit more support from a prop so she can get into a comfortable position. Setting again. DMP must be confident in this position.
Well, they're 5 points to the good, aren't they? And they've spent a lot of this half with our necks looking right.
Set.
It's hooked back. I think they're looking for them to try and lift it up, but they've had to put their hands in to try and clear it. And in the end, it is just a penalty. The dominance too much. Roberts has a little look to go for the tap. You'd have to think if you were DM...
Scrum.
Absolutely, you'd have to think that that's the option. One of the Waterloo players is down. Of course, you're not a scrum half by trade if you're not looking for the quick tap every opportunity, but you really think that with that penalty, one or two more of those resets and the referee's going to have to think about the penalty try.
Yeah. It's Scarlett down there, and I hope she's going to be okay. She just put herself in the most difficult position. She really gives it her all, and she's a cracking young player and has got a wonderful career ahead of her.
Yeah, just 18 years of age, Scarlett Fielding.
Yeah. Okay, water off now,
Born and
please.
lives in the Wirral.
Yeah. Penalties here, scrum option. Here's the mark.
So they've had to think. Scrum will be the option. Lois Brown onto the field and packing down at the back in the starting 8 for Darlington Mowden Park Sharks. Bagged a try against Richmond. Got a couple of scores in her 8 appearances of the season. Just missed one fixture so far. And she's ready there to control this if the shove continues to go, but in fact just pops out. So now Blacklock to try and run it with the 15. Oh, she's over.
Yeah, strong player. Ball going forward from the scrum. It wasn't controlled brilliantly at the back, but once the Waterloo defence are going backwards, DMP were on the way forwards, and the try was inevitable, and finished very well by Beth Blacklock, who's been having a good game.
It's her 3rd try in 9 appearances. Just managed to alter the direction she was driving in, and it did enough to shear off the Firwood Waterloo defenders, and over the line she goes. Already got 5 points to the boot. She adds 5 points with the try. Into the last quarter of the match then, and the visitors open up a 10-point advantage. Oh, it's just faded away. There's still time for the home side to get themselves back into this. Wonder whether the option from the restart might be to try and send it a little deeper. They've certainly, the last restart, went as close as they could to allow the forwards to chase. They've got the wingers on it as well. Likes of Caris Hall is in the starting blocks here, waiting to chase a kick here from Els Isaac. She does want it to be contestable, but Cowan hit by Hall. She's claimed the restarts admirably all game. Come back for Brown. Roberts back in field. Hunter, bearing in mind she's come in for...
Use it. Outside.
The withdrawn Heather Kerr. She's doing well. Delaney will always show, won't she? Loves it. Waterloo into the Darlington Mowden Park Sharks half. Tackle is solid on Fielding. Grieve off to the right. Grieve again. It's being pointed the way. Hutchinson just had to turn behind her to get it, but then gets the support in from Perrin, was it? And Grieve Fielding again, offering herself, wanting to try and stay on her feet, or at least give herself a moment for the cavalry to arrive. Does so, and does well. Grieve, they might have a bit of width on this if they'd have come to the near side. Perrin wants to put boot to ball. Now, our Darlington Mowden Park Sharks a little narrow here to the home side. Trust the basics to find the width. They're still going to go with a few shorter balls. Hutchinson is accompanied by Temple. Nessa Temple, the Cumbrian-born number 8. Grieve. Will they go through the hands and find the width? It's just allowing the Darlington defence to come up on Colton. Get into a good position to turn it over. Oh, look at that. That is brilliant from Lois Brown. Look at her try and send the DMP backline away, combining well with Lisa Thompson. It's really good use of the turnover ball to find Ikoku. Coming thundering up the field. Jess Elbeck having to get over and make the tackle. But that was really good from the visitors.
It certainly was.
Yeah, no problem.
I think that the turnover in midfield there, good strong position, resulted because Waterloo got a little isolated and didn't have the troops there in numbers.
Okay, it's going to be
We
here.
are in there, hands over. It was a little bit slow to get there, and it was a great turnover. She's good strong position and gets the ball away quickly, and what a great way to attack. Just maybe not so much depth from the rest of the girls. If they'd come onto that at pace, Waterloo would not have been able to defend.
Coco with the break. Abby Evans not involved. Is the 15 cap Scotland winger to return. Coco's been a regular left winger. 3 tries over the course of her season for the 30-year-old. Now Thompson looking at the options, little dummies, then Blacklock. Trying to find some width on it to send Tonkin away, who just knocked it on from the offload from Thompson. Didn't quite all come together.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed. They haven't got an excuse. It's not a horrible cold freezing day. The hands should be soft at this stage of the game, and really perhaps just the line wasn't quite right.
Okay, front row injury, time
Should be
off.
disappointed. But they look a real threat, Darlington Mowden Park. Waterloo have got to stay switched on and need to score very quickly if they stand any chance of getting back into this match. The last Waterloo line-out was it went wrong. It was well stolen by Darlington Mowden Park as well. So Waterloo really have got to work on that set piece stuff and get that sorted. Good to see Kira there come back into the squad, and she's sharing her expertise and experience with perhaps some of the younger and less experienced members of the squad there as they discuss what's going wrong and what's going right. Georgia Kyle also had a quiet game with ball in hand until the last few minutes, but she made a fantastic breakdown down the field, and I think she will grow in confidence the more she actually gets her hands on the ball and does those hard yards, because that's what she does well. A young player who's really developing fast, and has done a great job for us in the last few games.
Now, if you are a social media user, if you're on Twitter, then you might want to check out the Waterloo Ladies, Waterloo Women Twitter feed. It is at Waterloo Ladies. There's a picture of the old guard, as Jill might call them, and we're just photobombing in the background from our commentary position. So if you want to get that, I've also retweeted it on @NickHeathSport, also with a little picture of my new apprentice who's been joining us for commentary. What's your name?
James.
There we go.
You're James.
Yeah, you can call me James if you like.
I'll call you James, thanks. Who's been joining us, keeping an eye on what we're up to
Stand
here?
back on. Scrum down, green ball, lost forward from blue.
Family show.
Absolutely.
Three tries to one. DMP with the lead.
Crouch.
As with the majority of this match, Firwood Waterloo need to get out of this end of the field and start putting pressure on at the other. Another big scrum for them to deal with. They have dealt with it. Hutchinson working in the 8 position. He's done really well. Then a good solid carry from Perrin. That's a bit more like it from the home side. Good use of first phase possession. Hutchinson then coming around the corner. Thinks about the offload. The tackle is good from the Sharks. McLaughlin with the hit. Delaney under an awful lot of pressure. Needed to try and find some space, but eventually did find it for Alyssa Jennings. 17-year-old, happy to get the legs going, but just run out of turf over on that far side. She's still in sixth form as Alyssa Jennings.
Yes, no problem.
That's where it's starting, Jill Burns.
Fantastic.
Changes, please. Blue 9 and 14.
Oh, if only I'd been able to play in the sixth form. And it's lovely to see there. We've got Lauren Delaney coming over and encouraging her, giving her a few tips, and it's nice for Alyssa to look up to international players around her.
Yeah, 30-year-old Irish fullback certainly be able to offer a few wise words to likes of Alyssa Jennings, 17 years old, Caris Hall, who's well, a little younger than her. Els Isaac as well, the Firwood Waterloo 10, just 23. There is plenty of youth in this team. In the back row, Storm Cobain, 21. And Scarlett Fielding up front, just 18.
Crouch.
Also just waiting on the appearance of Maisie James, 17-year-old who has come here with DMP.
We've got another ex-Waterloo player there, Ale Lewis, on the ball. Used to play with us a few years ago, until she moved across to Darlington.
Beth Blacklock just losing a grip on it. Coco in there to help it. Lewis onto the field. Has a little look left. Pops it up once more. Cowan got players on the outside. Blacklock is there a little deeper to try and enter the fray and cause some more problems. Then the offload, that came away very nicely from Darlington Mowden Park Sharks as they make further meters into that 22.
Keep them down. Rock, no hand.
Sharks are knocking on the door again.
Up, Blue.
Pick and go once more. What have Firwood Waterloo got in the tanks defensively to hold them out from denying them the fourth try and the bonus point? Hunter, little lower drive, accompanied by Teese. Just trying to see around that pillar to see where the ball goes down. Driving to the left once more.
Short.
Backline are screaming for it. Beth Blacklock would like control outside Kenny Thomas, but Lewis not in too much of a rush to get it out to them. Oro then does manage to smuggle it away. Lois Brown was there, then the quick pick.
Tackle!
Ball is there.
Okay, girls, leave now.
Delgado waits, but Lewis is there as well.
It's 6 and 2 frees.
Break to the left. Lewis on the wraparound. This might work out for Thompson. They're going to put a little bit more on it, and then they're over. Really, really well worked from Darlington Mowden Park Sharks. It's Jess Cooksey who gets over. Another one of the youngsters, just 18 years of age, been starting on the wing, but ultimately made way for Beth Blacklock this afternoon to start at 15, but it was really well worked.
Yeah, good discipline. They were patient and created the space, and it's a simple score in the end. Good hands along the line. Well played DMP, deserved score.
About 7.
It's another fairly difficult kick for Blacklock. She's been kicking well today. Let's see if she can get this one over.
Conversion is good. Takes DMP up to 27, but crucially, in terms of what points they will leave with, they have scored the fourth try.
Roughly,
as we just watch the finish from Cooksey once more.
Yeah, the bonus points really matter, and well done to DMP for getting that. And it's nice to see young Orla McCallion on at number 19 for DMP. She's a daughter of one of the ladies who's playing touch up there in Northumberland, and a good mate of mine, Annie Lees, is saying how well that Orla's been doing. She's the daughter of a touch pal who plays for England, so brilliant stuff. And Orla's she's become a community rugby coach up there at the Falcons, so there's the future of rugby in that neck of the woods, out there in number 19 shirt, Orla McCallion.
Well, anyone who's listened to me on the live stream before will know what an advocate of touch I am. So good for the basic skills and for helping players find space. Very nicely taken by Delaney. Put the kick across, looking for a bit of room over on that left side, but Ikoku was in a really good position, having just come off the wing slightly to come in field. Then it's up for Blacklock. Tamara Taylor spoke during the week about having wanted to have a little bit more of a look at Beth Blacklock in the 15 role. They did so towards the end of that Bristol game, and we've seen more and more of her just almost doing that Alex Good style role that he plays with Saracens, when he can just creep into that first receiver position, try and set the rest of the back line going. It's been a good option for DMP this afternoon, certainly something that they can add to their repertoire. That's been really nicely worked for Cooksey once more. She's got some work to do here, though. Firwood Waterloo come across with the cover tackles. Ali Lewis then plays it away. Thomas cutting back in field. McCallion try and fizz it away and put more width on it. Blacklock there. Ikoku recognises that her fullback might need support, comes in and gets the ball smuggled away to her.
Yeah, well done. Good work.
One of the forward players is down. Thomas, Cowan, that was a little low. It'll be the knock-on.
Cross forward.
They will stop momentarily for the scrum.
Okay, yeah, it's a good period of play there for Darlington Mowden Park. They're coming into their own. I think the replacements who've come on have slotted very well into the team and made a very positive impact. Firwood Waterloo got some fresh legs on the field, not quite used to working with each other just yet, but the relentless defence in the first sort of 50-60 minutes has taken its toll a little bit, so that those fresh legs are very much needed at this stage of the game. It's Laura Perrin that was down, but she's getting stronger.
Time back on. Here we are. Green ball. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Grieve waits for this to come out the slot machine. It's not going to, though. It's a really dominant shove from DMP, and look how happy they are with the effort that they're still putting in. Pats on backs all round.
Here we are.
Yeah, big strong pack. They're really coming into their own now and growing in confidence. They've got that bonus point. They're happy already. They're going to win the game, and they're having a fantastic afternoon here at Blundell Sands. We've got to get the Waterloo girls to keep their heads held high and keep battling on. The game's not finished yet.
Ball just looks a little bit loose.
Option. Scrum back, or 22. Scrum or 22. Rachel, 22, yeah.
So
22 drop out.
Well, I think we're just waiting for the restart. Before I ask you to chat through who you think might have stood out for us today.
Behind the kicker.
Waterloo. Is that going to beat everybody over to touch? Yes, I think it is. Who's impressed you then this afternoon, Jill Burns?
It's in touch.
Well, it's been a really good performance from players in both sides. You know, you've got to talk about the effort from Rachel McLachlan in the first half. Absolutely tremendous. Some feisty work from her. Grafting from Caitlin Simpson, leading from the front from Tamara Taylor, but best of all is, I think, 15, Beth Blacklock. She's going to be the Tyrrells Premier 15's Player of the Match.
Numbers?
Yeah, it's been a brilliant performance from Blacklock. And it's a nod towards Tamara Taylor and Justin Loveridge as the coaches as well, in being able to look at a fixture like this to give Blacklock the opportunity.
Yeah, she looks like she's born to be there. Definitely a good option at 15.
Okay.
That one's just gone forwards a little bit.
Green, so it's green ball.
Knock-ons either way. Our clock is a best estimation, incidentally, but certainly we are very close to the conclusion of this one. 17 points to the good. Darlington Mowden Park Sharks. We were 10-all at half-time. Firwood very much in it, but it's what you'd sort of call a slow arm wrestle, I think.
Yeah, I think Darlington Mowden Park have been very much the better team this afternoon. Waterloo did so well in defence to try and stop them scoring early on. But they battled well, worked together, used that big dominant pack, and eventually the pressure told. But Firwood Waterloo haven't given up, and credit to them for keeping working hard.
Look at a break from the back. Looking to have another say. Delaney, brilliant from the fullback. Solid straight runner. And DMP go off their feet. Cowan, she knew she'd got in there to try and wrestle it back, but she also knew she'd lost her footing. Waterloo coming forwards again. They've got the numbers here if they could try and spread it in time. Oh, just the juggle. And then it's gone forward once more. Referee has a little cursory look at the watch and decides that that indeed will be that. Final whistle is blown on Merseyside. And Firwood Waterloo are not going to get away with a second win at home, having beaten Richmond here. But they've put in a solid performance, certainly showing the rest of the league, and hopefully those of you watching that there are no pushovers, putting in a very sterling defensive effort and scoring a cracking try through Lauren Delaney. But Darlington Mowden Park Sharks, just as Jill Burns says with us here in co-commentary, just proving to be that little bit too strong. Not quite as strong as the mulled wine, I must say, but they have put in a performance that they can be proud of and take back to the northeast.
Thank you for the game, cheers.
Yeah. Well played to Darlington Mowden Park, and you know, a good effort, a good spectacle. We had a nice crowd here today. Busy time of the year, trying to get people out just before Christmas has been not the easiest of things, but our Waterloo stalwart crowd are out here cheering and in good voice, so it's been a nice day, and let's hope we can enjoy the festivities after the match.
Well, these are the tries from the game then. This was in the first half. Lauren Delaney scoring the first to put Firwood Waterloo 5 points in the lead. Great break. Got clattering over the line for her trouble, didn't she?
You don't feel those clatterings when you just scored a try, though. Could be in with a shout for try lights again, you never know.
Absolutely. Why not? 2 in a row. This is the break from McLachlan then, the first moment that Darlington Mowden Park Sharks crossed the whitewash. As we just see some of the celebrations. McLachlan. And a few signs as we look at the highlights of where the likes of Mary Grieve and McLachlan are involved, that Scottish rugby is on the up as well.
Definitely. Definitely, and I think the fact that some of the Scottish girls are playing in the Tyrrells Premier 15s was making a big difference. Playing regular, good quality rugby is really important, and likewise for the Welsh girls who are able to play in either the southern teams or in we certainly have a few girls in our squad from the North Wales area, so the Welsh players are now able to play in the Tyrrells Premier 15s, which is the way forward in the women's game. So good for all the home nations, which is good for rugby in general.
Huge scream from Trudy Carron as she got that score. Then Blacklock, well, she'd been putting other people through holes over the course of the afternoon, and then she manages to pirouette back inside to score herself. Look at this, just changes to move back in field and gets the score down. Arms in the air from Amy Oro. She enjoyed that.
Yeah, big strong player. Keeps that leg drive going. Nice turn. Another strong run there. Lovely, lovely draw there to provide the space for the final try.
Yeah, Jess Cooksey finishing things off for Darlington Mowden Park Sharks. It was a solid run and release from Lisa Thompson as well. Another one of our Scottish players on show. And that is how it all came together. And just see Tamara Taylor just over to the right with the hood on, keeping herself warm. Got a knock in that first couple of minutes. Jill Burns alongside us was pretty spot on, saying she'll probably just get a little bit of treatment and soldier through it regardless, which is exactly what she did.
Yeah, there we can see the Waterloo team having a chat about things. Lots of nodding heads, are agreeing, some good stuff there, but still lots to build on. There's a few more games this season that they're targeting to hopefully sneak a second win of the season, but we've got to say congratulations to DMP today for a great performance.
Well, that will about wrap things up from the commentary position. I'm going to use this opportunity, Jill, to thank you very much indeed for joining us for the coverage. It's been great to have you here. Thank you also to your Firwood Waterloo hosts for looking after us so well. We will get down pitch side and hopefully grab a word with Beth Blacklock for those of you that are staying with us just before we round off our coverage here. But the final score in the Tyrrells Premier 15's round 10 has finished. Firwood Waterloo 10, Darlington Mowden Park Sharks 27. Just stay with us for a couple of moments and we should have Beth Blacklock pitch side. Well, delighted to be here pitch side with our Tyrrells Premier 15's player of the match. Beth Blacklock, how was that from your point of view?
That was a really good game. I think it's the first time that we've actually won away at Waterloo, so we knew it was going to be a big game. They said on Twitter that it was their World Cup final, so we were going into it just thinking, wow, like, we're going to have to hit hard, we're going to have to carry hard, and it was a really well fought game. And then at the end, we just kind of grouped together really well.
You were given the chance to have a bit of a run at 15 towards the end of that game against Bristol. You looked like you really enjoyed the chance to start there this week.
Yeah, 15's new. It's really fun. You can just join the line wherever, so usually at 12 I'm stuck at second receiver and still crashing it through, but now I get to crash it through wherever in the line I want, which is really fun.
Yeah, in terms of then Darlington Mowden Park Sharks season, Tamara Taylor said before the game that a win would take you to a position that you've not been in the league before, a chance to continue looking up the table. It doesn't stop here, does it?
Yeah, no, sixth going into Christmas. I think this is the first time we've ever been sixth going into Christmas, but actually that win meant that we've won the most ever games that Sharks have in a Tyrrells Premiership already, so the rest of the season is just really looking good.
Excellent. Well, listen, I am going to present you with your wonderful Tyrrells bag of crisps, a few in there to share with the team. You are the Tyrrells Premier 15's player of the match. Congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much, thank you.
Enjoy that. In the meantime, we're getting the siren sounded here, which is lovely. But we are able to conclude our coverage here of our round 10 live streaming match on across the social media channels and on the England Rugby YouTube as well. So we hope wherever you've been able to watch us from that you've enjoyed our coverage. Our thanks once again to Jill Burns and congratulations to Darlington Mowden Park Sharks winning away here for the first time at Firwood Waterloo to give them just the Christmas present they wanted. It's finished 27-10 from all of us here. A very good evening.